Hey guys, Litecoin Mining here. Hope you're doing well, having a really great day this video. Okay, I wanted to talk to you guys about just how crypto mining is right now. It is July 9th as of recording this video, so just a timestamp, so in case I need to come back to this video. But just going through how everything is right now with Bitcoin mining, script mining, and just how did we get here now where the market is, where Bitcoin is 62,000 as of recording. It's been chopping, around here, 60K, 62K. We're at 64K maybe yesterday or so, but it looks like we're kind of on an uptrend. But ultimately, we've been on a downtrend since October of 2025, when Bitcoin was almost 125K. And so we've gone down to about 60K now. And crypto mining, whether you are doing it at home or maybe, having it hosted somewhere at 8 cents per kilowatt hour, majority of people who are crypto mining right now it just does not make sense. Right now, the ROI looks to be further and further out because in terms of profitability, your miner is just not earning as much Bitcoin as it was in terms of value as it was maybe back in October or December of 2025, right? Since the market was a lot higher then. But now that Bitcoin's much lower, we are seeing asset prices obviously much lower. And so we're now seeing the hash rate also kind of turn off as well. And this is with Bitcoin, and then with Litecoin and Script, we're seeing a pretty decent drop off. So I want to talk about that today with you guys. Also just go through a bunch of other things, just the state of everything is right now with crypto mining. It's just very down. So we're going to go look at Google Trends in this video. So I'll talk about all this after today's video sponsor. Are you tired of jumping between mining pools, swapping wallets, or even dealing with complicated payouts? Check out PowerPool.io. PowerPool has the top mining algorithms such as SHA-256, Script, EagleSong, X11, K-Heavy-Hash, and even ETC-Hash. And just recently, they added Zcash, letting you mine while optionally converting rewards into Bitcoin, USDC, or other supported coins. PowerPool helps you avoid holding volatile altcoin balances and simplifies treasury management, especially useful for mining farms or anyone tracking taxes and cash flow. Personally, over the past couple months, I've pointed all of my ASIC mining hardware to PowerPool, and I have found it to be the most profitable and honest when it comes to their auto conversions and adjustable payout options. If your goal is hash first, settlement later in BTC or stablecoins, PowerPool makes that workflow easy. Don't take my word for it. Test it yourself and sign up today using referral code RPM for 0.5% pool fees from their normal 1% pool fee structure for more coins in your wallet. Check out PowerPool.io, link below. Alrighty, so make no mistake, over the past couple months, or maybe the past 6 months, there have been many companies who have been liquidating their Bitcoin to go towards AI. A notable company named Bitdeer, they liquidated their entire Bitcoin treasury back in February. I believe they liquidated over 1,000 Bitcoin. According to the article, it says Bitcoin was trading between 65,000 and 68,000 when Bitdeer sold back in February. So really the main reason why they sold was because they needed to fund their expansion into AI. And it's not just, Bitdeer, TeraWolf, Bitfarms, Riot, Core Scientific. They've all been selling their Bitcoin and pivoting towards the whole AI data center expansion. So even the bigger players in this space are pretty much exiting Bitcoin mining, and a lot of hash rate has turned off from those companies. And so right now, as of recording, we're at about 916 exahash. We are seeing a lot of curtailment happening because it's really hot right now. So you're probably going to see a lot of fluctuations in Bitcoin's hash rate over the next, I would say the next month or two during the summertime. And as well as with script mining. Script mining has been having some pretty big spikes down in hash rate. So I think there's been some big farms out there that have been curtailing, and a lot of hash rate for script has been turning off. But right now we are at 2.4 petahash for script for Litecoin. And so we were at the highs of 3.65 back in November 2025. A lot of L7s, L9s have come online, but now we're at 2.4. So a lot of older inefficient hardware has turned off. Maybe L7s DG1s, AlphaPex units. I mean, a lot has turned off. And I mean, the reason why is because Bitcoin and Dogecoin, all these, proof of work coins have fallen down a cliff in terms of its price because of how much weakness there is in this market. And whether or not you want to pinpoint it to, we had this Binance liquidation, or I don't know, people are blaming it on the meme coins, the Trump coin, and all this kind of stuff. I'm not going to get into political here, but like, there's just so many negative narratives that have come about to where it has affected crypto mining profitability as a whole. For everyone that's in this right now, it's just been this downward trend since pretty much, I would say since October, November of 2025. We've pretty much been on a downtrend because the market's just been going on a negative tear all the way down. So I've been personally seeing it on my YouTube channels and, other people's YouTube channels. I mean, actually everybody on YouTube, everything's just been so down and there's been a lot less views. I think I'm going to attribute that to also summertime. Maybe a lot of people are enjoying outside, touching grass. I think that's probably the best thing everyone should do right now, and just ignore the market. But I'm going to talk about positives here in a later date, but just how everything's been quite suppressed and quite negative. It makes sense because really there's just been much less interest when it comes to, Bitcoin mining or anything like that. Anything in terms of mining has just been negative. And so just looking at this chart here, I took in 6 terms on Google Trends: Bitcoin mining, crypto mining, GPU mining, Pearl mining, CPU mining, and solo Bitcoin mining. I'd say the popular terms that we've seen over the past decade. 2020 or 2017, previous bull run, 2 bull runs ago, 2017, crypto mining, GPU mining was, really popular, Bitcoin mining, and then the bear market ensued. Then 2021 came about, and again, it went up again, and there was a lot of interest into, crypto mining, GPU mining, and all that stuff. But then 2025 came around, end of 2025, and it was beginning a little bit more, more interest, more retail, but at the same time, there were a lot of layoffs happening, especially in the tech sector. I'd say in the tech sector, there's a lot of people who, retail, like people that are in the tech sector, like majority of us here, I'm sure, a lot of them got laid off. A lot of people were getting laid off starting in I think August 2025, even before that, but just during that time, November, there were a lot of layoffs happening. October, December, not so much. But then, when the market started to really have more weakness and when crypto was going down, January, there was 27,000 layoffs, 24,000 layoffs in February, 50,000 in March, so on and so forth. There's just, ongoing layoffs that are happening around the world, and it's just affecting everything, especially with crypto. So it makes sense that the interest, there's no disposable income, there's no extra, money flowing around where people are thinking about, buying crypto or buying crypto miners or, doing crypto mining or Bitcoin mining or anything like that. I've been seeing it less and less and less. And, in my perception or how I perceive everything, how I see everything, it's definitely negative. I mean, you can see it, you can hear it. I hear it from everybody. I hear it from a lot of people. And I've been hearing this maybe more so the past couple of years, to be honest, ever since 2022, ever since the previous downturn, from 2021 highs, we've had just ongoing negative downward, it seems, in terms of mining. And depending on people's electrical cost, it's just not making sense. The ROI just isn't there. It's not making sense for a majority of people to get into this unless they have very, very cheap electric. And that's been the name of the game for a very long time when it comes to crypto mining, because we've come to this point where there's been a lot of industrial players that have gotten in the space. I've talked about this before. The hash rate for Bitcoin has climbed almost 10x, 11x since 2021. And, from 124 exahash all the way up to about over a zettahash, that's a good 10, 11x in hash rate. And so has the price of Bitcoin, 10 or 11x since 2021? No, unfortunately it hasn't. So we're pretty much, standstill of what we hit before in 2021. That's why we're seeing the unprofitableness of a lot of these, Bitcoin miners that a lot of people have. I don't think a lot of people have the newer edge stuff, like Hydro stuff at this point in time. But looking at air cooled stuff, A2 Pro Air, like this just came out March, 2025 last year, 14.86 joules per terahash at 8 cents electric. It is only making 55 cents above electrical cost. Okay. This was like, an $8,000, $10,000 miner, and, S21 Pros, 46 cents. And as we go down, there's a ton of hardware below S21 Hydro that is like at least breaking even or losing money. And there's a lot of miners here under that. I'm curious, S21 Plus, negative 36 cents a day. At that point, you might as well be buying Bitcoin, might as well shut down and just buy Bitcoin instead with the electrical money. You'll get more that way. But, how many S19 XPs are out there? How many S19K Pros are out there? Hence, depending on their electrical costs, that's why the hash rate has been falling, has been dropping. Like I'd say a good 100, 110, 100, 200 exahash or so. I feel like there hasn't been enough bloodbath yet to see prices of these miners come down yet, because a lot of people are still holding on. A lot of people are maybe mining at 1, 2, 3, 4 cents electric. And there are plenty of people who are out there that have that, electrical rate. But for anyone that's hosting, okay, let's just say at 8 cents, you got to have, the latest and greatest. Maybe like, an S21 XP these days, it's only making $1 a day at 8 cents per kilowatt hour, which is, it's better than nothing, but it's because of its efficiency. Even though I get like 14 joules per terahash on mine, so it's maybe a little bit less. These things, if you don't have the most efficient miner, you're going to be hard pressed to make anything. And I know, especially nowadays, it's even harder to shell out, a couple $1,000s for a Bitcoin miner when it's only making like $1 a day or nothing a day or breaking even. It's just not worth it, right? The ROI is just not there at this point in time. I know a lot of people say, but Red Panda, isn't it a good time to buy crypto miners? No, it's not. In my opinion, it's not, because the prices of miners have not fallen enough. They've pretty much still stand still from what it was maybe a couple months back. And a lot of these miner prices have not changed. So I feel that Bitcoin miner prices have to come down more, and it's not going to come down more until there's more bloodbath in the market. There's got to be more liquidations. Unfortunate it is to say, as we are in a zero-sum game, when it comes to crypto mining, there's going to be winners, there's going to be losers. And so, I think of it as an arbitrage play that I think, if you can find good deals out there, I'm not saying now, because we've pretty much, we're still, I feel like we're still, there's a lot of weakness in the market, a lot more layoffs happening, cost of living is high, people don't have disposable income. I feel like there's going to be more blood in the streets that's going to be coming. And, I hope it doesn't. From here, I hope Bitcoin just goes up. But looking in previous history, I have a feeling we're going to be chopping around in this bear market for the next while here. I'm not quite sure how long, but anything that depicts previous history from the previous bear markets, we're going to be talking about a good 2-3 years until the next run up. So that would be very detrimental for majority of people who are crypto mining. And you got to be careful, right? For people that are going to stay on, wanting to at least break even on their miners and pay their electrical bill out of pocket, you guys got to make sure you're financially capable of doing that. How many people here have the cash flow to keep that, keep all that running? How many people have the funds, have the ability to keep it all going, depending on your electrical cost? I'm going to say we're going to see a lot of liquidations, more liquidations happen, because I've seen this before. From the times that I've been into crypto mining, from the previous times, the previous bear markets, I've seen it all. I've seen when mining farms liquidate S9s for like pennies on the dollar. And, 2018, 2020, that's when it happened, right? L3 pluses were going for $50. Those times happened. And I feel like it's going to happen again. It all depends on how many people, how many of these farms are going to start liquidating, right? We just don't, people that over leveraged, bought too much hardware, don't have the cash flow, then they're going to be hard pressed. And so I'm not like trying to actively call out for this, I don't want this to happen, but every time we go in a downturn in Bitcoin or Dogecoin for script mining, just as an example, I see the liquidations. I see the people have to sell because they just can't afford it anymore. And I've been through those times myself. I remember when I had to turn off because, I just wasn't willing. And in my financial situation, I was not willing to keep those miners on during those times because they were at least breaking even or losing money. So I wasn't wanting to shell out, money to pay for my electrical bill or, even sell the crypto at break even because it didn't make sense to keep the miner on. You might as well just turn it off and, save the maintenance and, the heat and all the other stuff that comes with, especially if you're mining yourself at home. But, it's just coming to that point where, we haven't seen, I don't think I've seen a lot of liquidations happen yet for ASIC miners. And if there are, they're probably going through consignment, and where majority of us are probably never going to see that until it flows through the resellers. One thing, okay, I just wanted to express this. Okay, so just looking how, in terms of interest on Google Trends for crypto mining, Bitcoin mining, all that stuff, it's down, right? But here's where all the interest has gone to. Let me type in AI here. Okay, including all these terms. Look at the chart now. Look at how the interest into AI is literally above and beyond anything that is in the search terms for Google Trends. So it's not even a speck. Like Bitcoin mining, crypto mining, GPU mining, Pearl mining, CPU mining, solo Bitcoin mining, it doesn't even register a percent, like not even like a number compared to AI on Google Trends. AI is the most popular thing that's happening as of the past, I'm going to say past year or two. And whether or not people are using, AI services to do whatever, like ChatGPT, make AI music, whatever, make AI videos, like it's just AI this, AI that, major Bitcoin mining farms selling their Bitcoin to go into AI. And I'm guilty of that too. Like if you guys have seen my YouTube channel, I've been transitioning into Bitcoin mining, AI stuff as well. I've been happy to because it's going back into GPUs, and that's why I love it. Right? It's going back into utilizing GPUs and renting it out for people that want to crypto mine or do some type of AI workload, which a few of my rigs are doing that. And so this is something that I've had to get into because this is what people want to see, right? 3 weeks ago, I had to shut down all my ASIC miners at home because they just weren't profitable anymore. My electrical rate also has been going up, so it's just been on this. It's just been one thing after another. It just doesn't make sense for me to run those ASIC miners anymore. But GPU mining, not GPU mining Pearl, but like AI stuff. Okay, GPU rental has been really good. Okay, so like anybody that has this kind of stuff, which is obviously very expensive right now, to buy the RAM, the storage, the GPUs, all of it is really not cheap. So the barrier to entry to get into this, something like this, like especially at scale, it's not cheap. And so I feel like we've come to this point where, yeah, there are a lot of people that have been going into AI, but maybe not a lot of people are getting into it because it's really expensive. But then another thing is a lot of people are just leaving crypto mining because there's just no money into it right now. There's no profit into it, and it's something that I've seen time and time again. So here's the positive thing that I'm waiting for. Okay, and this is where you guys can give me your input as well. Let me know if you watch this far. But I just, I feel that there is going to come a point where when, the liquidations happen in terms of mining farms, hardware, which, should happen, I feel like should happen soon. As more layoffs and stuff happen, as more cost of living, interest rates aren't dropping, we're going to see more negativity. We're going to see more weakness in the market and especially in crypto mining. So I feel that there's going to be this arbitrage play that, some of us can play. And I'm going to try to find the deals, right? I want to see if I can buy L9s for like $1,000. I want to see if I can find S21 XPs for under $1,000, something like that. I don't think that day will come, but you never know, right? You never know because it all depends on the supply and demand, right? And I think there's still demand for some mining farms out there that are expanding. It all comes down to just if there's any deals. I've seen some, but it's not to the point where I want to buy it at this point in time, especially where Bitcoin still, it's right now everything just seems just seems to be really weak, and so I don't think if we're judging by previous times, we're probably just starting in this downtrend or chop range where we're not going to really go up, and so we just got to wait it out until, you know, it's going to be the battle of attrition. Like who can stand the test of time? Who can, you know, stay on the longest? Like who has the most capital to keep their miners on, who is willing to take that risk in hopes that what they're mining is going to go up later down the road, right? As it, depending on what scale you're in, how much money you have, what your electrical cost is, all that kind of stuff. But anyways, guys, I'm just rambling at this point, but I think you guys get what I mean, that in terms of what has happened over the past couple of years, that there's just been this massive shift in the AI, and it makes sense, right? You can see AI is just dominating Google Trends, and the other terms are just not registering. So there's just a lot of people not interested. You know, I'm seeing it on my YouTube channel, not very many views anymore for Bitcoin mining stuff. And I get it, right? People don't have that disposable income, and that's just how it is. Okay, guys, let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you watched till the very end. I'm going to give away 2 petahash for 2 hours if you watch till the end. So comment and like and subscribe, all that stuff. I will choose the winner after about 24 hours. You guys have a good one. Peace out. Peace out. Still storing your crypto on exchanges? That's risky. This is the Red Panda Tangem card. Simple, secure, and built for real self-custody. No seed phrases, no complicated setups. Just tap your card, manage your crypto, and you're in control instantly. Secure chip technology keeps your assets protected, even offline. I've tested a lot of hardware wallets, and this is by far one of the easiest ways to get started. If you want true ownership of your crypto, check out the Red Panda Tangem card below. Simple, secure, self-custody. Use code RPM for another 10% off. Link in the video description below.